Last time on the Wayward Life, we took some friends sailing to Newcastle Island. The next weekend, winds looked favorable, so we decided to head to Lasqueti Island for a couple of days. With 10 to 15 knots of wind forecast, we had high hopes of reaching Lasqueti in 4-ish hours. We have no wind. It's forecast for like 6 knots. That's dead.
Back to motoring.
Motor sailing! That thingy. What do you think, Max? Max is never stoked on the motor. Yeah, it looks even more dead out there, so that's fun. Is it lame sauce?
It's super windy on land.
Not at all what was predicted. It must have just died like as we left the marina. It is like glass out here.
Yeah.
The complete opposite of good sailing weather.
I don't think I've ever seen it so calm in my life.
Yeah, not out here.
We're sailing, Taryn. We're sailing.
And the wind's picking up.
The wind is picking up. We're gonna be good here in a little bit.
Yeah, finally! My God. See the tiny ripples? And then over there, it's still dead calm. Once the wind started, it continued to build to the speed forecast and we were able to sail comfortably for a couple of hours. Lasqueti is about 16 nautical miles from Nanaimo and is in the middle of the Salish Sea. Lasqueti is one of those rare places that is still completely off-grid and holds a back-to-the-land culture. We arrived at Lasqueti as the sun was setting with choppy seas. So we are on Lasqueti Island, yeah, anchored between Boho and Scary Bay, which is like, it's not really bays, it's like a little channel between Lasqueti and Boho Island. And the wind is blowing at least 15 knots and gusting probably between 20 and 25. So yeah, we're anchored in here. And so the way that it goes is it's like super wide open, but it's like 60 feet deep, and then it like narrows, and it's about 40 feet here, and then it kind of widens out a bit again. But the part again where it widens out, there's like a bunch of rocks that we can't see because we don't have a depth sounder on the boat at all. And then where we are right now, we're in between like the 2 points. So, and we didn't have a depth sounder when we put the chain down, so we're not sure exactly how many feet we're in. It's close to 40 though, right?
Yeah, we have a weight on a rope that I counted out.
Yeah.
By arm lengths.
And it looked about 40 feet.
40-ish, yeah.
But we're at like a pretty high tide right now as well, so that's helping. But it looks like the anchor's been holding. We anchored like an hour ago now, and it's been holding, but we're worried that if the wind shifts in the night or the tide goes down too much, because we're like pretty close between the two sides, that we might swing into some stuff that we don't want to swing into.
We're basically at our limit. Maybe.
No, we got a little bit.
We might be getting pretty close to the one side.
We got
So this is what it looks like.
You can see how we've been moving.
And we set our anchor somewhere right here. And this is where we've been swinging back and forth for the last little while.
Yeah, because of the wind.
And that is land. And at low tide, that's land. Anyway.
So we'll probably be fine.
We set an anchor alarm.
Yeah, so if we drag, but if we miscalculated our swing, then we could still end up hitting rocks.
Yeah.
That's what we're worried about.
So basically it's less than ideal.
So you can see here that we're not very far from either edge of land. So this is what we were stressing out over last night. It's like lowish tide right now too. So we're kind of right in the middle of these two areas. But we didn't move. Anchor held. And the wind has stayed in the same direction enough that we haven't like floated forward or sideways very much. We've just kind of stayed back. So that's good.
Yeah.
It's magical and beautiful out, and we are gonna go snorkeling. Yay! Tide is low, so we might even be able to see some cool stuff. You can see a starfish over there right now, which you can't see. Where are you? Did I say swimming? You wanna go swimming?
For a boat ride?
Yeah, you wanna go for a walk? Go swimming? I think that's a yes. I wonder if he'd follow us swimming.
There's towels.
You wanna get in the dinghy? A 2-minute row from our boat was this perfect snorkeling beach. Visibility wasn't good, but we still got to see some cool stuff, and it was great to finally be in the water. Hello. Ow. We spent the rest of the day relaxing and napping and enjoying the day. we didn't get any of the winds last night that were forecast. So last night we were supposed to have a westerly, which would have blown from that way, straight that way. But instead we had a northeasterly all night, which was fine because then that meant that we weren't like worried about running into that shore over there, the private island shore. But we were also hoping that we'd have like a northwesterly this morning, which was supposed to be part of that report, but it sounds like the wind's pretty much going to completely die for most of the day. So we might be motoring 5 hours home. And we have to go today because Logan goes back to work tomorrow morning, so we have to be back in the marina tonight. But it's a beautiful morning at least. And we didn't drag anchor again last night, so we are still where we wanted to be. Once we reached the wind, we were dealing with more chop and swell than we had experienced before, and we loved it. We are rocking.
Come here, Matt.
But we're going almost 6 knots, so. A few white caps.
That's not too bad.
Much better than I thought it was going to be this morning with no sailing happening. What do you think? Are you scared? This is not your favorite? Is there things you'd rather be doing, like being on land? Yeah. Okay.
So we're still doing 6 knots.
Our autopilot also worked a lot better than we expected it to with the chop and heavier wind, which was great. The chop lasted for about an hour and the rest of the sail home was relatively calm. He makes it look like it's warm, but it's really not. I'm freezing. As you can see, with the hat and the hood and the jacket. This is what June looks like on the coast. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, we would love for you to subscribe and click the thumbs up. You can also support us further on Patreon, link in the description below.